Good morning, how are you today, my friends? Alright, so I'm carving up some wood paneling here. You can see there. Just sort of carved that out. There's some finished ones. And what I'm doing is I'm laying down the flooring for my display for the panzers. Okay, so I'll quickly give you a demonstration on how I do that. Okay, so you can see I've got a length of off-cut plastic. So this is PVC, just like the stuff we use in models. Now it's a 3mm thick offcut. So I've got cutlery tray offcuts and they're 3mm thick. And they're about 5 to 7mm wide. You can have variants, you know, you can go from 4 to 5 to 6 to 7mm wide, doesn't really matter. This one would be about 5mm wide. And then you've got, see, I've got an two here. I'll just drop this so I can see how they're sort of slightly different size. So this one would be like 7mm and that would be probably 5mm. But it works when you put it together on a diorama. It does, you know, your display base, it creates variants. Like, they're all different sizes and stuff, but they all come up looking sort of similar. But you don't want everything all uniform, that's what I found. Yeah, you do want that variance. Well, anyway, I'll quickly show you how I carve them out. Now, my original thought when I started doing this was that wood grows from strands, basically. It's a whole heap of wood strands that grow out and they're all tied and glued together very compactly. So what my thought is we've just got to create those strands and that strand damage. So what I've got here is we've just got a normal hobby knife. And what we're going to do for starters is we're just going to start by creating those strands. Alright, so and we're not going to do too straight, we're just going to go down the length and we're going to create a lot of those lines, not forgetting the size. We don't want to have any spot where there's no line, and we're just going to gently go down and we're going to go down the entire length, creating all these lines. Like so. You can see I'm sort of moving my hobby knife around where we're not going too straight, but we are going straight. You know, there is some lines where we do, and I'm just gently sort of running down, and you will go into the old grooves, but you want to start, you see, I'm just starting the lines that I'm coming down with in spots that haven't been damaged. So you just sort of choose your spots well. And just coming down and you just sort of tearing it up on that side. And it's all right, because if you cut this way on the plastic, it'll break instantly, but because we're going down this way, it's not wanting to break, and you'll be surprised at how much strength holds up even though you cut the absolute hell out of it. And you can see even it starts to damage out, so you'll have, see how it starts to come out? Don't worry about those, you want to create that, because the final step will tie all those and fix all those up. Now usually I don't have it taped to the board, but I'm just doing it so we can hold the camera and we can show you how it's done. See, we're starting to get the lines in. But yeah, there's a lot of undamaged stuff, and you just find that and you keep coming down and just make sure it's in a spot where it doesn't move. Okay, so we've done one, and now we're going to spin it around. So we've gone from one direction and we'll come from another direction now. And we're going to start to go a little bit faster, getting more lines in. And yeah, those lines we created before will start to shard out. You'll start to get very thin shards of offcut starting to come out. Like your the lines of the wood, you see? It starts to come out, you start to get your grooves, your dents. Yeah, you'll start to get natural sort of channels created. And yeah, just keep finding those spots that you haven't damaged as well. Start from there, come down, and your hobby knife will go into the grooves like that it's already found, and it'll extend them and deepen them, and it'll bring out. And as you go over it and do, see, I'm going to squiggle over, the shards will start to come out more, and you'll create deeper gullies. So we're just breaking the surface and turning it into we're creating lines, creating channels, so that the surface isn't uniform anymore, but we're creating it in a situation where it sort of resembles wood. Doesn't look exactly like wood, but it resembles wood, I suppose. It looks pretty crazy, but when you get it in and painted, it does actually come up looking like wood. And it's a lot cheaper than, you know, buying it and using actual wood, you know, like your paddle pop sticks or whatever, your ice cream sticks. I didn't find it works that great. It's out of scale. You want to create your scale. So I've done that again, and I'm going to turn it around again, and we're just going to do it over and over. So now I'm just more freely just bringing it down, and you can see now the shards, these shards are just flying out now, and that's what you want. Those shards flying out. And there's a lot of damage on the sides. See, there's a lot of things that oh yeah, that's going to really come out, you know. Don't worry about it. The last step will fix these up, and they're not going to go anywhere. But you can, you know, cut them off and create damage in the board, in the wood. You know what I mean? It's really up to you. You're the artist. This one I'm making pretty damaged, but not too much, you know. You can go as far as you want. It doesn't matter. It won't break. And even if it does, you can, you know, start to go really weak. You can just apply some acetone and it'll really sort of melt it back together, and you can start again. Alright, so we're starting to get a good look there. It's a little bit dodgy down the bottom here. Yeah, don't forget your bottoms. That's where you can really sort of neglect that area. It doesn't matter, you know, if you neglect an area or whatnot, you can just cut it off. You don't have to use it. So I've really damaged the hell out of it. I don't like it up here, so I want this to be a bit more. So it's very random. I'm just coming in randomly, just finding spots that are not damaged and just bringing the hobby knife down. Always sort of pivoting my fingers a bit, so it's always sort of moving and digging, but it's also slicing. Alright. So that seems like it's pretty well damaged. Good. Alright, so we'll get the masking tape off. Right. Yeah, and see, we got all those shards. We'll get rid of those shards, we don't want those. Alright, so now we've got a really damaged piece of plastic here. So last step we'll do is we want to give it a sand, a very light sand, especially coming along the side, cleaning up. See how it's puffing out? We want to clean that up. Alright, I've got just a 180, and what I would be doing at this point is just giving it 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, just cleaning it up. All you're doing is cleaning it up. And after you do that little bit of sanding, it comes out like this. You see the difference? Just cleans it and ties it up. And then you see there's little bits left over that, you know, the sandpaper doesn't get, but they look good just in the diorama sort of thing, and you can break them off. That's how it's done. It's not that hard. Alright guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon.